Hi, I'm Rachel Cleet, and I'm the chair of the Move to Prosper Steering Committee. It's my pleasure to welcome you, and I'm very happy you've joined us today. Now, you can't see them, but there are over 150 people attending today's event. Thank you for being with us today as we recognize the power of opportunity and that a zip code should not determine a child's future. Move to Prosper makes life coaching and affordable rental housing available in neighborhoods that offer access to opportunities. Today, you will see the power of transformation that opportunity provides. If you are new to Move to Prosper, please check out the website at www.movetoprosper.org to find out more. We're coming together at a challenging time for both our country and our region. The pandemic and its aftermath will be with us for the foreseeable future, and we continue to have a public health crisis. In some Columbus neighborhoods, residents live with violence, gunshots, and death as daily occurrences. The Columbus Dispatch reports that current homicide counts have surpassed the 217 homicide record. Years of structural racism, government and private actions, including historic redlining, exclusionary zoning, and land use regulations, have limited access to quality housing and higher resourced neighborhoods. We must address this now. To create a community that lives up to the vision of an equitable and inclusive community for all Americans, we must be able to live together in our neighborhoods and our children attend school together. How else can we be a country where everyone can achieve their dreams? Now, I want you to imagine just for a moment, could your kids succeed in a school? Could you be stable in your job, access quality health care, food, transportation, without having the stability of a safe, healthy, and decent home that you could afford? Could you do this without paying more than 30% of your income toward all your housing costs in a neighborhood where you feel safe? Could you do this while earning $15 an hour? That's $30,000 a year. This is more than challenging. And 75% of people nationally eligible for housing support from the government to help them pay their rents do not get it. In fact, there is a severe shortage of both housing and rental assistance in our community. And that's why we're here today to demonstrate the power of opportunity. Locally, our Franklin County Commissioners recently adopted a resolution adding racial equity to its list of core principles. The resolution recognizes that multiple initiatives are needed to address the disparities in poverty, health, and economic mobility caused by systemic racism, which has resulted in lower employment and overrepresentation in lower performing schools of people of color. Move to Prosper is a new model and an initiative for addressing those issues. We do this by creating opportunities for socioeconomic mobility for children. Over the next 55 minutes with us, you will see how Move to Prosper is making this vision of inclusion and opportunity for the families it serves. And you'll also see its desire to have an impact on even more families in the future. But first, I want to let you know that I'm thrilled to share with you that we've received a gift to match all donations to Move to Prosper up to $50,000 from an anonymous donor. So to receive a match for your gift, it must be received by 5:00 p.m. on Saturday, December 5th. You can donate by texting OSU to 41444. You can also get the address to send a check or make a gift through our website. There will be more about this later in our program. Now, one last thing before we get started. We hope you show your support for Move to Prosper by donating today. Gifts of $150 or more made this week will also receive a very special candle from Atmosphere Candles. Atmosphere Candles is a new company created by Jonica Young, a Move to Prosper mom. A link to her company is in the chat. You can learn more about her on her website, Atmosphere Candles. She has shared her journey on the website as a struggling single mom, dealing with the challenges of stress, guilt, sadness, as she could not provide a safe and decent home and life for her two lovely daughters. Move to Prosper gave her access to the tools, resources, and support she needed to achieve her dreams. So sit back, listen, and be inspired by the power of opportunity. We'll start today with a family who did not have the opportunity as a family to move to prosper together. We'll hear from Byron Threats, his mom, Sharon Wilkins, and his guardians, Hammond and Natasha Russell. As reported earlier this year, on June 17, in the Columbus Dispatch, Byron, a talented football player with good grades, was a 14-year-old high school student when he was living in Linden. One day, he and his cousins were visiting a convenience store when they encountered a group they had argued with online. Before Byron knew it, he had been shot. You'll hear how he ended up in Dublin, living with a guardian family so that he could be safe, secure, and continue his education.
Hi, I'm Sharon Wilkins. I'm the mother of Brian Threats. It started when he was 4. He was a beast at the Ravens, and at Mifflin he shined. I was there at every game. I knew he was going to be something special.
My name is Brian Threats. I'm a student athlete at Dublin Kaufman. I started playing my high school career at Mifflin High School. Like, I just know like a lot of my friends and stuff were like died during like the violence that was going on. Wrong place, wrong time. Like we knew like when we went there, like, we knew like what was gonna probably happen, but you feel me, we still went anyway. But we was just young and dumb.
You know, it's unfortunate what happened to him, that he listened to them instead of me. But that's what kids do, and he learned from it. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard, but I knew I put him in good hands with Russell and Tasha. They've been in his life since he was 4, so it wasn't that hard of a choice when they were living in Dublin, and he needed a change.
I mean, it was really a no-brainer. It's not like he was a kid that was turning out. It just, he was, you know, happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. So it wasn't like a change in our home or anything like that. He's always been there every weekend. It wasn't really a time in his life that we never really had him growing up with our kids. So it wasn't a hard decision at all.
Brian come from a special family. His mom is a single mother. She's been doing an amazing job with her boys, you know, and his oldest brother is like my son too, and we thought we had him on the right path, but then as he got older, he was able to wiggle away. And when you're a family and you fighting against the streets, the peer pressures, and then girls come involved, it's a lot more attention that needs to be put into it. So with Brian, it was never that. It's like, you know, I'm hanging out with my friends, wrong time, wrong place, things happen.
At first, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like it. It was big. Like, it was like, I'm like, dang. Like, at first, like, the first place I think I seen was the football field, and then I seen the stadium, and I was like, hold on. I'm like, is this a college stadium? I'm like, whoa. I'm like, and then I seen the school, I toured it, and that's when I was like, yeah, this is like crazy. Like, the longer I stayed out here, like, the more and more, like, I started to like Dublin, though. Most definitely. It's just a matter of like really being respectful and really caring about like your education. I can say like my teachers at Mifflin, they did help me, but like they weren't like pushing me like to like, come on Brian, come on. Like I was getting a lot of like, all right, you ain't gonna do that. All right, we'll just let you slide with that. And you feel me? I'm like, okay, like that was fine with me. Then I came to Kaufman and I had to sit down with Crabtree, and Crabtree's like telling me like they're gonna help you as long as you want to help. Like so, like you show them you want it, and then you're gonna get it. So. That's what I did, and then like the more and more I stayed in Dublin, like each and every year, like my grades just progressed and became great. Well, not great, but good. The goal is to make it to the NFL. But like you said, like my uncle said, it's only like one injury away from not playing the sport that I love. So like once I transferred to Kaufman, I only got to play 5 games. So after those 5 games, I think I got three scholarships. And then like my junior year, that's when like I feel like I like blew up, and then like I started getting a lot of offers. What really like struck me was like what school was really showing me like genuine love. I felt like it was Cincinnati, so that's when I had committed to Cincinnati. And that's where I'm at now.
Best thing that ever happened. I like I said, I knew he was in good hands when we did it. You know, they never left me out. They always let me know what was going on with them. That's just what they do, and man, I give them 100% kudos. So love them.
I'm so inspired by Byron's story and the opportunities he had after moving to Dublin, and a move that very well may have saved his life. And you can see how proud his mom Sharon and the Russells are of him as he's working hard in school and on the football field to achieve his dreams. Could you imagine being Byron's mom? I can't imagine the heartache of having to make such a painful decision to separate from my children so they can have access to a better future. We wish that other families did not have to face such difficult choices. Move to Prosper was created to provide the choice to moms working in low-wage jobs to have the opportunity to move with their kids to communities like Dublin and others. Kids would attend the higher performing schools and live in safe neighborhoods where they could be kids and dream. Let's hear now from Kiara and her daughter, Kimara. They are one of the wonderful families in Move to Prosper that had such an opportunity. Kiara and Kimara are an example of a family flourishing together as they have the opportunity to live in a higher resourced community.
Hello everyone, I'm Kiara and this is
Kimara.
And we are part of the Move to Prosper family. What is different from your old school to your new school that you like now?
The new dress code.
You like the new dress code at the new school because you don't have to wear uniforms.
I like the elevators.
Oh, with your crutches that you had? Yeah. You got to use the elevator.
The food, they will have like different options.
So you get more options at your new school than you did your old school?
Yeah.
So now when you're at your new school, you have less kids and you feel like you're getting the help you needed more than what you had before?
Yeah.
So I feel like although you still have friends at your new school, it's more about learning than socially accommodating yourself. So I definitely feel like you have come a long way with not being so worried about the outside because the new world has given you more to look forward to in the inside. So how do you think meeting new people from different parts of the world affects you now from just seeing people that you already see before every day?
I feel like I can learn more of the culture.
More about different people?
Yeah, I feel like I could see who they really are.
Instead of judging somebody because you don't really get to know anything about their culture because you only were experienced with just normally that one culture from your old school. So that's good. So has it given you a reason to think about what you want to do now in life as you get older versus the old school? And what do you want to do?
I want to be a lawyer.
Did they give you some good resources about being a lawyer? Is that why you're thinking about it from the new school? Or
yeah.
Well, I just want to continue to see my kids happy, you two happy, you two with your learning, with your sports activities, with your dancing, your brother as well, with his education, with his basketball. I just want to continue to make sure we okay. And then make sure that y'all happy so y'all keep smiling more than what you did before. Where we live now is definitely a step in the right direction. Where we came from before, the south side of Columbus, as my son would say, it definitely wasn't quiet, but it's quiet now. My previous location where I lived, the basement flooding with the mold and quickly having to move back in with my mother from not working after getting into the car accident with therapy, just all around. When you look back, all I can say is faith is where it came from, because if I didn't have that, I probably even would have took my fingers to look up and research anything about Move to Prosper. Like I said, I came about Move to Prosper just by Googling mothers need help moving. And by me having the faith and strength to do that, even though I was in the slums, or I was just down and out, depressed, all of it, it's definitely a better step in direction where I am now and continue to go forward. I just want to take everything that Move to Prosper has given and continue to give as a step in the right direction and a learning tool.
Thank you for coming to listen to our story. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so inspired by their story. And Kiara is a wonderful mom. She's working really hard to provide opportunities and growth for her 2 children. Now, this is an example of a family flourishing together as they have the opportunity to live in a higher resource community. Your support of Move to Prosper enables families to flourish. We hope you contribute today towards the matching gift we've received of $50,000. And now I would like to introduce Katie Smith, the editor of Columbus CEO magazine. Katie will moderate a panel of experts about Move to Prosper and its impact on families in the pilot. It's all for you, Katie.
Thank you, Rachel. Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Smith, editor of Columbus CEO magazine, and I'm excited to be here with you today. It's one of our editorial missions at the magazine to write about what's going on in the nonprofit community. You might ask why, since we're a business magazine. Well, nonprofit coverage is vital to keeping our community's business leaders in touch with critical efforts to help all Columbus region residents lead happy, healthy lives. That means living in housing and in neighborhoods that support them. In my 15 years covering them as a journalist, I've learned that companies in the Columbus region have big hearts as well as keen business minds. They want to do the right thing by helping everyone flourish, no matter their zip code. They also know that inequity and hunger are not just societal issues, they're business issues. They're workforce issues, and they're economic development issues. That's why Move to Prosper has been able to gain the support of the business community. It's now my privilege to introduce the panelists here with us today who are going to tell you more about Move to Prosper's mission and its impact. Their bios appear on the screen. Please join me in welcoming Project Evaluator Dr. Jason Reese from Ohio State University, Move to Prosper Coach Gina Smith, and Project Facilitator Amy Claiborne. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
After our panel, we're also going to hear a recorded message from Dr. Kelly Kelleher, a pediatrician at Nationwide Children's Hospital. Kelly regrets he couldn't be here with us today. After that, we'll give you guys an opportunity to ask questions via chat. So we'll kick off the panel. Amy, could you tell us why Move to Prosper was created?
Thank you, Katie, and thank you to everyone who's joining us today. Move to Prosper was created to give children the ability to follow their dreams and be the best that they can be. Our community loses out when children live in poorly maintained homes that make them sick, when they live in unsafe neighborhoods that cause toxic stress, and when they go to underperforming or failing schools. We need to revitalize neighborhoods. This is critical. But we must also recognize that not everyone lives in a neighborhood that's being revitalized, and that children may not be able to attend high-performing schools. We believe that hardworking single moms working in lower wage jobs, many times in essential jobs, should be able to have the choice to live in higher resourced, mixed income communities throughout the region, if that's what they choose to do. This opens up job and career opportunities for the moms and opportunities for the kids. When the kids have the ability to live in a higher resourced community for even a few years while they're growing up, their lifetime earnings can increase by over $300,000. So we worked with private landlords who share the vision of our community and we created a life coaching model to assist the women. We provide short-term rental support to supplement the cost of the rent. We started out with a pilot of 10 families to evaluate this new model, and the families are in the pilot for 3 years. And in fact, we extended it for 1 year due to the impact of the coronavirus. We developed this new model to impact public policy. We seek to demonstrate the need for a housing mobility program in our region, similar to ones that are already in place in many parts of our country, because this allows children and families to flourish. We also seek to show landlords that they too can open their doors to families who have rental support, creating both affordable housing opportunities and mixed income communities throughout the region.
Thank you, Amy. Now let's talk about a critical part of the Move to Prosper program, and that's coaching. Gina, does Move to Prosper provide coaching to children and moms? And what do you do as a coach?
So thanks, Katie, for asking me that. We provide coaching only to the moms because we think that's what's needed to enable the moms to set and achieve their own goals. We know that by working with the moms, the entire family benefits. For example, we know that when you reduce the mom's stress, it positively affects the family. So many of the moms have commented about how their quality of life has improved because they're no longer worried about letting their children play outside because the children are no longer subject to gunfire or drug deals taking place in their presence. So it's been a very important impact. Also, by helping the moms to work on her child's school and advocate effectively for herself and her children, there's been a benefit. Some moms came to the program knowing how to do this. Other moms needed to develop that skill. I think of one of the moms who was raised by a grandmother who raised a large family of kids and really didn't participate in what we picture as the normal family PTA experience. So through coaching, she learned how her involvement with the school, with the teachers and administrators would benefit her child. She's built a beautiful relationship with those teachers and administrators. It's benefited both her and her children. We think individual coaching helps women navigate lots of the systems necessary to be successful, financial systems, housing systems, to assist their children with their educational success so that they're getting the most out of what the education system has to offer. For women who are interested, helping them create a pathway to their own future. Is there an opportunity for a better career that helps them have increased earnings that allows them to stay in a better housing situation? Having financial health that reduces stress from their lives, improving their physical and mental health, which is a big part of it. So those are the 4 pillars of the coaching program at Move to Prosper. When we do all of these things, the children's lives improves, the mom's life improve. We've had so many wonderful stories about how the children's lives have improved. I think at least 3 of the children have been invited to become part of gifted programs in their new schools. Children are expanding, as Kiara's daughter, Kamara, mentioned, she's expanding her range of the types of people she knows in her life. Children are volunteering at the zoo, speaking publicly, being parts of performing arts at their schools. So many of the things they didn't experience in the failing schools they were going to. We also have a wonderful partnership with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and many of the families and children have benefited by the mentorship of the folks at Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and we participate in monthly programs with the moms.
That was a great description, and I love those stories you're telling us about how this changes life for the children.
Yes.
Thank you. Jason, could you tell us how Move to Prosper has impacted the children and women in the 10-family pilot?
Yes. The first thing I want to share is what we began to see with Move to Prosper was really the transformational impact of moving into a healthy, safe housing unit and a safe neighborhood. The families in Move to Prosper were under just tremendous chronic stress related to the conditions that they were living in, housing instability, and real persistent fear about what would happen to their children because of violence in the neighborhood. Once families were stabilized, we saw immediate impacts on child health because kids were in healthier housing units and in healthier neighborhoods. And then we began to see down the road, once families had that stress removed, improvements in education, income. Moms are able to parent differently, plan for the future differently. All of these kind of ancillary benefits that come from having your housing stabilized and having access to the resources that you need to thrive.
Thank you, Jason. We'll now hear from Dr. Kelly Kelleher of Nationwide Children's Hospital about the impacts on a child's physical and mental health when they have the opportunity to choose to live in a higher resource community.
Hi, I'm Kelly Kelleher, Vice President for Community Health at Nationwide Children's Hospital. As a pediatrician, I often see the difference between children growing up in resource-poor environments and resource-rich environments. The neighborhood environment that children grow up in accounts for about 50% of their future prospects. The likelihood of having a high income in adulthood, of getting married, of having a long-term job and career, and graduation. We can make a difference in where children grow up and how they do that. Resource-rich environments have children who achieve more in life, and much of their health is determined by where they grow up. It doesn't matter how many beautiful hospitals we have, nice medical clinics, and hire more doctors. If children are exposed to toxic environments in the home, toxic environment in the community, and at the school, they're not going to have positive outcomes. So what can we do about it as a community? Well, there are two options. One is neighborhood redevelopment, and that's what we're involved with at Nationwide Children's in Healthy Neighborhood, Healthy Families. And that program has a 10-year effort to invest in the south side of Columbus, improve housing, improve education, improve wellness programs, and job opportunities. And there's been radical transformation there, but it's been a long time and lots of money and resources to do so. Many of our children can't wait. And so the alternative is something that's been studied throughout the past 20 years, which is the Move to Opportunity program, giving children a chance to move into resource-rich environments. And what we've learned from those studies is children can go from poor neighborhoods to better off neighborhoods and achieve success, especially when that move occurs early in their life. And we know that they have higher rates of graduation, higher rates of obtaining good jobs, and higher rates of staying married and not having teenage pregnancies. So these are outcomes we all value. We all want the best for kids. But what can we do in our community about the results of the Move to Opportunity studies that have shown us children do better when they grow up in resource-rich environments? Well, Move to Prosper has been a great demonstration project for us here in Columbus. The initial 10 families participating in the program had good outcomes, as you've already heard about today. Move to Prosper is a program that if we can grow it to 100 families, then we will truly have the data to document its effectiveness for our community and other communities like Columbus around the Midwest. Move to Prosper is a great opportunity for us as a community to have an alternative to comprehensive neighborhood development. Both strategies are necessary for a successful Columbus and our future of our children. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. All right, we're back. That was a great message from Dr. Kelleher. Now, I want to thank Jason, Gina, and Amy for sharing the story of Move to Prosper. You guys illustrated the power of opportunity for kids and their moms. Now we're going to hear questions from the people who are joining us today. Move to Prosper's event invitation gave people the opportunity to sign up to ask questions live. So we have 3 people with us today to post their questions. We'll also take questions from the chat. So after we answer those questions, you'll see a video featuring 2 Move to Prosper kids that will touch your heart. We're going to start with a question from Jerry Valentine, who is here with us today. Jerry?
Thank you, Katie. In what ways has the program helped families foster a relationship and build a rapport with their current landlord? And are there any suggestions on ways in which you would like to see this critical aspect of the program be improved?
Thanks, Jerry. That's a great question to ask. I think coaching has played a real role in helping in this aspect. First, there's been a lot of input into coaching moms on finances, on budgeting, how to make sure you have the money to pay your rent and paying your rent on time and the importance of that. Some coaching on how you learn to talk with the landlord or the person who does maintenance around the complex so that you're able to ask for what you want and get a productive result. If there's a problem, the landlords have the opportunity to come to Move to Prosper and ask if we can help. Excuse me. At the beginning of the program, as families were settling in, there were some difficulties and we were all able as a team to work them out. I'm not sure what we can improve at this time because that's really working very well.
I would add to Gina's comments, this underscores the need for a larger housing mobility effort here in our community. We have a shortage of affordable rental units, but we also have many of these subtle barriers that if we could work around would provide housing opportunities in areas that are resource rich. Many of our families had never really had positive relationships with a landlord before. They were used to making calls and never seeing things fixed. All of these things change once they're working with a landlord who's more responsive to their needs.
All right. The next question is from Kathy Klein, who is also here with us today. Kathy?
Thanks, Gina. You mentioned there are programs also for the participants in Move to Prosper. And why do you have them in addition to coaching? And how do they benefit the children?
So one of the foundations of the programs is helping women to build skills that some women come into the program having and some women don't, so that we have an opportunity to bring in experts from the community in finance and dealing with school administration and lots of other areas of life that we're working to build those skills in. So they help the mothers cope well. Now that we're in the COVID age, our programs have been all virtual, and they include activities for the moms and the kids. When we were doing these lives, the moms were in a teaching session and the kids were in a separate room for kids where they had a matching lesson so that those two things could work together. The programs are important for a couple of other reasons too, is that they give the women time to form a group together, to form community and relationships and just a place where they can find a place of belonging. Think about it. These women were all strangers when we brought them together. So there's a whole dynamic in bringing 10 people who are complete strangers together. But creating that sense of belonging has been very important. This has impacted the children as we partner with the moms and kids to do something together. One of the things that came about when they were talking about how to deal effectively with schools was a checklist for the children to use to say, how am I doing? The leader of our children's program at the time had used this with her own children, helped to share it with us. And it's a simple thing that kids could take to school to say, how am I doing? What could I be doing better? What goals could I set next? And it just creates a conversation between the school, the teacher, the child, and the parent. So bringing all those things together has been very beneficial. And that's just one example of the results of one of the sessions that we did to help the moms gain some more skill.
Great. We're going to check our chat now for a question from there. So I'm just going to look into it. We have a question from Bruce Lackey, who is here with us today. Bruce?
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for taking my question. We hear the success stories, and they are certainly welcome and encouraging. And to be clear, our company's charitable foundation is very much on board already with Move to Prosper, as we believe that they're worthy, well-engaged, and trusting stewards of those funds. But as we look forward to future years and higher levels of contributions, part of our corporate analysis is to ask the target charity about their failures. So my question is, how does Move to Prosper recognize and respond to those failures and then take corrective action and changes?
This is an excellent question. And I would add, the beauty of a pilot program is that we don't necessarily have failures, but we have learning experiences. And the design of the pilot so far has been to really capitalize on those learning experiences so that we're better prepared in the future. And I'll give you a few examples of those experiences that we've had. One of the things early on that we recognized in the evaluation was the importance of relationships between the moms in the program. And so the programming began to be refined or revised in that context to provide more community building opportunities for the moms and to foster those relationships. There's a buddy program, so moms have buddies that they can work with, as well as other opportunities for moms to stay connected with each other and provide that critical social support that's very important. We've also seen issues in the context of navigating new school environments. We did have one family who felt that they had experienced some bias in their new school, and we worked with not only the landlord but the family to help that family relocate into a similar apartment unit in another school district that they're absolutely just in love with right now. So again, the beauty of a pilot program is really taking
So it seems that Jason has frozen up for a minute.
He's back.
And I am back. I apologize. My computer just died for a minute. So I have a different one from my husband, luckily. And I'd like to add to Jason's response. When we move into the demonstration project, we will take our philosophy of continuing to learn into the demonstration project. It's been very important during the pilot. But that's the philosophy just of running a program that'll continue. And so we have a lot of volunteers and a wonderful team of coaches, and we continually evaluate what we're doing, how we're doing it, and the impact on the families. And every time we have a program with the families, we do a survey and we ask them, how'd it go? Is this working for you? And getting continual feedback in that way has really made this a strong program. And we're seeing the results with the women and the families. So Bruce, thank you so much for asking the question, and thank you for your support. We appreciate it.
All right, we have time for just one more question from the chat. I think it's hopefully an easy answer for you guys. I think it's a really good question. What about single dads? Are they allowed to participate in the program?
Well, I'll go ahead and start with that. Thank you for asking. Let's see, the whole point behind Move to Prosper is to impact public policy. And we'd like to see all families, no matter what the makeup, have the ability to live in higher resourced communities if that's what they choose to do. But because this is a pilot and then a demonstration project that are being evaluated, we had to limit the criteria because there'd be too many variables and the research wouldn't be meaningful if the group then was too small. So most people who are had a single parent household are female. And so we're just looking at women right now with the ultimate policy change affecting men as well.
Great. Great. Well, thank you to everybody who asked questions today, and thank you to our panelists. Amy, I'll turn it over to you so you can share with us Move to Prosper's hopes for the future.
Thank you so much. What a great discussion, and thank you, Katie, for moderating. Thank you, Gina and Jason, for participating in the panel. Thank you to everyone who asked a question in the chat, and for those that we didn't have a chance to answer, we'll send you responses. And thanks to those who joined us live to ask questions. I will now share with you what is next for Move to Prosper. Jason and his team are working on the third evaluation, and we will have a briefing in February or March to share the results. If we have your email address, you will be invited. If you joined us live today through Facebook or YouTube, please sign up for our mailing list, which is on our website. We are excited to share that we are laying the foundation to implement the demonstration project for 100 families. We are now developing a fundraising plan, and it's too soon to apply. We've already started getting some emails about that. We've got to raise the funds first, or the rest of the funds first. We are thrilled to share with you that Humana, a national health insurance and managed care provider, is excited about our research, and they want to be involved. They'd like to collaborate with us to design the evaluation of the demonstration project, and they will provide other support as well. We will keep you informed of our progress. Anyone who would like to be involved, and we have lots of volunteers and need more, please let us know. To get involved, contact info@movetoprosper.org or send us a note through the website. Thank you to everyone who has supported Move to Prosper today or in the past. We hope we can count on your continuing support so that we can launch this very important demonstration project. We will now share with you one final video. These Move to Prosper kids attend a higher performing school and live in a safe neighborhood where they can just be kids and they can dream. Let's now hear from Oli and Tobias.
Thanks for coming to listen to our story. We are a family of Move to Prosper, and we are here to tell you about our story. So Oli, I was thinking about the neighborhood we used to live in and how we can do things now that we couldn't do before due to the situations. How do you feel about that?
What I recall about where we used to live is how it wasn't unusual to hear sirens and sometimes gunshots. We didn't go outside at all, didn't play with neighbor kids, and the neighborhood in general was like dilapidated and the trash was usually overflowing.
You know, that school was always full of fighting and problems. Even the teachers would be too afraid of the students to break it up. And I remember one time my principal got stabbed in the knee with scissors. You know, I didn't know what to do. At that point, my heart was racing. I was really terrified, and I wanted to help, but I couldn't because at that time I was just another student.
There's still like fighting, which interrupted the learning experience. There wasn't as much opportunities in the school we were at. I didn't feel challenged like I do now at the school we're at.
So Oli, I know it was hard for you to leave your friends and the things you grew up with and got used to. How do you remember it being for you with the change and the move?
When I heard about the move, I was kind of against it. I didn't want to leave my friends, but I eventually got used to it and made new friends, and it was great. So how do you think this move has impacted our family, like Mom and our brother?
Well, I think overall, the move and all the change and the things that we have now is a benefit for our family because we all have better opportunities, better chances to grab at as we move on in life. I think our little brother, he has more opportunities than I had growing up because he can get those opportunities earlier growing up in this environment instead of the environment we grew up in. Overall, school and everything with him is going better. The old school would always complain about how active he was, but the new school just says he wasn't challenged enough. He's in gifted math now, and he's doing overall really well. I think our mom, she's also benefiting from the move because she has a better job option, really was happy about it, and when we had the choice to move up with our community and environment, she wanted to just grab that chance as soon as she could. You know, Oli, there's also been a lot of great things that happened to you since we moved to the new school. There's been a lot of changes in you for the better. You know, you started band, which I see you enjoy a lot. You even got the first chair with tuba over 2 seniors, which is, I think, is just phenomenal. The one thing that I'm most amazed about is your art skills. You've always been into art, and the fact that we've actually had the opportunity to do like a real art class at this new school, and you took the opportunity right when you had the chance, and you made a self-portrait, and I actually have that here. You know, I think this is just like one of the most outstanding pieces of art I've seen. What I first thought I wanted to do was work at Walmart like our uncle. Now that we moved and have better opportunities in life, getting better education, I've thought about, you know, I'd either want to be a surgeon or an engineer even, or I maybe even want to join the Army like our dad. Thank you all for coming tonight to listen to our story. Move to Prosper has been a big benefit to myself and my family. We think that it is very important for others to have this opportunity that we have gotten. I think that it has benefited our family, and I just want to say, if you guys have the opportunity to make a change in your life or do something for the better, I would always take that opportunity.
Wow. I have seen this video 5 to 10 times, and every time I am just so touched. These two wonderful kids represent the power of opportunity. As you heard, Move to Prosper has had a wonderful impact not just on them, but on their mom and their younger brother. I'm so touched by their story. Think of this loss to our community if Oli, Tobias, and the members of the families of the other Move to Prosper kids did not have the opportunities available to them. I hope you are touched and as inspired as I am. It is now my pleasure to introduce Jeff Corzine, who is here with us today. Jeff is a longtime volunteer, generous donor, and a member of the Move to Prosper Steering Committee. Jeff?
Good afternoon, everybody, and happy holidays. As heard at the beginning of today's program, about an exciting $50,000 match from an anonymous donor. All gifts up to that amount that are received by 5 p.m. on Saturday will be matched. The Move to Prosper team is grateful to this family that they are so passionate about our work and impact, and that they're willing to invest in our future and the future of the families that we seek to serve. But I'm honored at this point to introduce to you a special friends of Move to Prosper who have messages to share with us today.
Afternoon. Michael Pyers. I'm a project manager for the Ohio State University, and I work to provide post-purchase support services to low to moderate income households in Ohio. I have donated to Move to Prosper in the past, but I strongly believe in the mission and want to support the current and future families achieve economic mobility. I am now going to be a recurring donor at a low level to support this very important work. $25 a month, or any amount for that matter, can make a huge impact. No amount is too small to give. So as a first-generation immigrant from a working-class family, I can speak directly to the benefit and the value of living in a community that has fostered education and economic and employment opportunities. Please join me today in becoming a one-time or even a recurring donor to support Move to Prosper's mission.
Great news, Michael. My name is Shiloh Todorov, and I raise money for the Matriots PAC, which is working to elect more women to office in Ohio. My husband, Demeter, and I are going to donate $7,500 today, and we're so excited to take advantage of this match. What inspires me about Move to Prosper is that it takes a holistic approach to families. The ill effects of zip code are so often a generational one, and that cycle doesn't end by concentrating on any one thing. Education, access to safe housing, a neighborhood where you can safely play at the park or in the yard, access to a support system like a coach. These are all integrated ideas that can help a family advance themselves. But many nonprofits are geared at only solving one of those challenges. And I love the data and research connected to this initial cohort of families. Demeter and I are anticipating the next phase of really opening this path to opportunity for more families, and we hope that you'll join us by taking advantage of the match today.
Wow. Thank you, Shiloh and Michael, for your wonderful generosity for Move to Prosper. We hope all of you with us today will be inspired to show your support and to make a gift. Remember, your gift will be matched, and in order to do so, it must be received by 5 p.m. Saturday, December 5th. So here's how you make the gift. You can donate by going to our website, and the address is on the screen, or you can text OSU at 41444 to donate, and that number is also on the screen. All gifts of $150 or more will receive a special candle from Atmosphere Candles, which gifts are underwritten by donors of Move to Prosper. Amy?
Jeff, Michael, and Shiloh, thank you. Your generosity is greatly appreciated and means so much to the families we serve. To all of you who are with us today, thank you for joining us. And I did see in the chat that many people have donated, and we are so thrilled. We saw that a family donated $5,000. There were $500 gifts, and there were gifts of, $20. So thank you. All of this makes a difference in the lives of families. We hope you are inspired by the power that having opportunities has made in the lives of the kids you shared with you today. We are proud of Brian, Oli, Tobias, Kamara, and all the other kids who have made the most of the opportunities available to them in their new communities. And we are so proud of the moms too. They were courageous to make the decision to apply to Move to Prosper and move to new homes. And please know, all of the women who are in the program before they started were working in lower wage jobs. They had 1 to 3 children under the age of 14. At that time, at least one child in school. They all had the desire to make a decision for themselves about moving to a new neighborhood because they were living in insecure housing in areas that were unsafe. And so they were applied, they went through an application process, and they became part of the Move to Prosper pilot. The requirements to be in the demonstration program will be similar, although there may be a few differences. The moms have been working hard. They've saved money. They've been weathering the pandemic, and the coaches have made a very important difference in helping them through the challenges that they've had with jobs and for some job loss, and obviously being a single mom and the teacher of their children. There's a lot, and having a coach has made a real difference. So thank you to the coaching team for all you're doing in working with our families. I would like to recognize the Move to Prosper Steering Committee who are listed on the screen, and our many program volunteers for their dedication and hard work. We would not be moving forward with the demonstration project if we didn't have their leadership, passion, and support. And a very special thank you to the volunteers, team members, and companies who made today's program possible. You just saw their names on the screen. Thank you for being with us today, and we hope you have a very safe, happy, and healthy holiday season. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.